Okay, so currently we have 3 cars in the shop where we've had to take the fuel injectors out. So we're gonna have Mike explain a little bit about differences of them and the similarities between them. So we're gonna start with these ones. Mike, which ones are these?
Okay, so they're all high pressure fuel injectors. The difference is that we don't have the fuel rails here up on the table for these. But so what that means with high pressure is that you have a low pressure pump in the fuel tank. It pumps up pressure at 10 to 20 psi up to the engine. On the engine is a high pressure pump that converts that to 20 to 30,000 psi for direct injection for better fuel mileage and fuel economy. So now these fuel injectors here on this fuel rail, these are actually out of a 2019 Kia, is it Sorento?
Sorento or Sedona, I don't remember.
So anytime we pull these out, they have these little Teflon seals on them that help seal all that pressure into the combustion chamber. And these are a very special seal. They're about $30 a piece. So we have to send these off to a specialist who rebuilds them, checks the flow on them, make sure they're spraying properly, and puts the new seals on. These here, you won't be able to see it on camera, but they're actually a directional injector. They can't be installed any way but the direction that they're locked into. And with these injectors here, they'll actually spray a mist just to one side of the piston, exactly where it's supposed to go. Now this one here is out of a Yukon, I don't know what year it is.
It's around a 2015, 2016.
It's a 5.3 engine. It's also direct injected, so it has the main fuel pump that lifts all the fuel up to the engine or the block, and then it hits a fuel rail and a fuel pump that turns it into even higher pressure. That goes into this port here, and then this one has 2 specialty seals on the bottom. These are very hard to get out. Sometimes they even break when you remove them. You could be as careful as you need to and use the tools. And then we send these off to put all these new seals on.
Something else about this one, this is a very common Chevy one because it is in the 5.3. The 5.3s are in almost most of the smaller pickups, SUVs.
For Chevy and
GMC.
And the last fuel injector that we're having to replace in the shop is out of a 2014 6.7 Cummins diesel. This is on a Ram 2500. It's a very similar setup, so it has a lift pump that lifts the fuel up to the engine. That then hits a high pressure pump that sends the fuel pressure over to this connector tube from a fuel rail. Once it hits the connector tube, it goes in sideways through the block to where all these other injectors sit down in and get fed from the top. This one gets fed from the side and then actually creates a cone shape when it sprays down, and it's still 20 to 30,000 psi. Every one of these injectors, unfortunately, are very expensive, but this is the way technology is going with these cars to improve emissions and fuel economy.
We were going to just show you the differences too between a gas fuel injector and a diesel fuel injector. We do work in a shop. We've heard all of the size jokes. Don't worry, we've heard them all.